Elon Musk does not have a house to live in, and this time, I'm not even kidding. He does not even have one real estate in his name. So where does the world's richest man live? Well, except sleeping on the factory floor sometimes, he really fell asleep on the factory floor. He lives in a house that is cheaper than a Tesla Model X, a Tesla home, and this is one thing that is the point of argument for the couple. But I'm no relationship expert, so I'll let it go and we'll talk about his cheap home. Why would someone do something like this? He has a lot more money than he needs. This man is the owner of Tesla, SpaceX, and The Boring Company, and Neuralink. So what could possibly drive a man to sell everything he owns and live in a frail, tiny house? Well, I can give one answer to just this question: sustainable living. You've probably heard about it if you're a fan of Elon Musk or Tesla, or simply someone who spends a lot of time on the internet, like me. And if that's the case, what am I doing here? Elon Musk just released some fantastic concepts for a potential Tesla tiny home. These houses will be technologically advanced as well as environmentally beneficial. But how can he be so convinced that this will not cause an issue for the locals? How can he be sure that these people will enjoy life to the fullest if they live in a bit of a tiny house? The solution is simple: trial and error. What he's saying now is something he's been through before. He has, in fact, been living in a small home for some months now and is aware that it is possible to do so. Let's look into it a little bit better to understand the problem. On June 14th, he announced on Twitter that he was selling his last residence. This tweet responded to a criticism that the affluent do not pay enough taxes and always find a way to evade them. While I wouldn't agree or disagree because this video isn't about taxes, and we all know how hard it is for me to stop once I start. And before you jump to conclusions, she did say that. Returning to Elon Musk's message, he claimed that his previous home would be sold and that his present residence is the Starbase, a $50,000 tiny house in Boca Chica. Boca Chica reminded me of a peaceful village in a period drama film that becomes famous after a bigwig settles there and builds a home. Boca Chica's story is similar. No one knew it existed until Elon Musk established his SpaceX headquarters there. And now everyone knows it's a hamlet on the fringes of Texas. Boca Chica is becoming more well-known. Isn't it true that if Elon Musk lives in a house, it must be remarkable in some way? And who could it be? A perfectionist like him, who can design anything? There is a simple answer to each of these questions: Boxable. Boxable builds tiny houses that can be folded into a box and transported in trailers. In November 2021, Boxable posted a video on YouTube announcing that they had recently built a casita house for some big shot. They also claimed that they cannot reveal the client's identity at this time, but would do so as soon as possible. They did, however, make a mistake. The house was created in Boca Chica style, according to them. You don't need an IQ of 190 to figure out who built this estate. Or if you already know who one of the world's wealthiest men resides in Boca Chica is, well, it's not that hard. My dog, for example, might have done it by connecting the dots. Boxable is currently a fledgling company that only delivers to a restricted number of customers. Still, their ultimate goal is to make housing more affordable and even something that takes up less room. One of the co-founders, Galliano Tiramani, revealed in an interview that there are still many changes with shipment and assembly. They are still working on them and most of the issues are being addressed. The idea that these homes will incorporate auxiliary living units, which are growing more popular in California. These residences are built in a factory and then delivered to the buyer. The cost of manufacturing, assembly, and delivery is now included in the package, albeit land, tax, and paperwork must be submitted separately. So far, Boxable has built 3 casita residences, 2 of which are on show at their factory. But what about the third? This is something we're all well aware of. Even if they don't confirm it, we know where that house is. These Boxable homes now come with electricity, plumbing, and lighting pre-installed. LED lighting is used, which is energy efficient. The whole point of these houses is to save money on utilities. Someone can even customize their home, and the company is currently working on joining 2 of the homes to make a more extensive habitation. I recommend waiting until they develop something like that if you want to live in a large Boxable mansion. Boxable could be the answer to America's housing dilemma. According to the company, these homes are as durable and can survive temperatures in 90% of America's areas, with the remaining 10% able to customize the home to that location. Boxable will also start work on the project, which will entail building 175 homes for the Ministry of Defense. The fact that each house takes 7 months to build is something I don't like about them. However, it is precisely how long it takes to build a normal one. The Boxable had 40,000 people interested in their houses before Elon Musk entered the game. But once Mr. Musk entered the picture, that number grew to 100,000. This should give you a decent idea of just how influential this person is. Now for the major question. Why would Elon Musk want to live in a house with only 2 to 3 adults? The solution is simple. He wants to reduce his carbon footprint. He wants to make the world a better, more sustainable place. He's been saying for years that he'll live on bare necessities if he has to, and he's proven it to us on multiple occasions. As a result, it came as no surprise to me because he has the ability to motivate a considerable group. He wields so much power, and if he lowers his carbon footprint, perhaps his devotees will do the same. Remember when Tesla stopped accepting bitcoins because of environmental concerns? What was the reason for the price reduction? They did so because Bitcoin is based on the proof-of-work algorithm, which uses a lot of electricity. Imagine these insanely ridiculous boxable residences with Tesla walls and solar panels. This would increase the module's durability and cost-effectiveness. A boxable house costs $49,990 right now. But as demand for these homes develops, prices will fall. And for the record, a Model X costs around $80,000, so you could buy this house and still have money to invest. The only thing we can hope for at this time is a collaboration between Tesla and Boxable. However, it is still unknown if Musk lives in a Boxable home or not. He allegedly sold his prior home for $30 million and then moved into an apartment, according to speculations. Whether it's Boxable or not, one thing is certain. It's far more environmentally friendly and sustainable. To recap the entire discussion, Elon Musk is currently residing in a small Boxable home, and these homes will serve us well in the future. Even if humans travel to Mars, we will just require something similar to this, and life on Mars will be similar to living in Boca Chica, which is 40 minutes away from human civilization. As a result, you can argue that he is living this way. Elon Musk, who lives at the bare minimum, is encouraging many others to do the same. And it's no wonder that many others are following in his footsteps. It's a massive step forward rescuing the world, and it will provide us with a large quantity of land on which we could farm things to generate sustainable energy. This is a modest step, but at the end of the day, it is the small steps that make the most difference. In the future, we can clearly see Boxable and Tesla collaborating and creating something totally unique. I even have an idea for this, and if I can come up with it, then obviously they can too. If we use Tesla's solar roof in a Boxable home, then the energy that it would produce would be completely sustainable. And not only that, it would become even more possible to take these homes to remote locations. I mean, then it would be one less thing to be worried about. All I can say is the future looks definitely unique. We're going to have sustainable small homes, modular lifestyles, and reducing our carbon footprint. I think it's going to be a really interesting direction things are going to go towards. But if Elon Musk keeps setting the trend, then I'm sure a lot of us will follow, for better or for worse. Well, we'll see what happens.